Have you ever met the connector? Well, he ponders, he helps, he creates, he writes, he speaks. He basically connects people and brings them together. I speak about Paul Solano of PS and All Marketing Group. At psandallmarketinggroup.com, you will receive an assembled group of Paul's contacts and connections that cross into many sectors of life. Please contact Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com if you are in the market for a wide array of services. Again, please contact The Connector, Paul Solano at 617-240-4130 or psandallmarketinggroup@gmail.com with any questions. And now, here's Paul Solano, the host of Paul Ponders.
Welcome to Hashtag Paul Ponders. I've really enjoyed bringing you fun, informed, intriguing, and pondering podcasts. Many thanks to Hashtag PodPro Entertainment. Today's collaborating sponsor, Scott Albertson of Hashtag Project142.org, Riverworks Credit Union, NMLS number 410564, and Remax Renaissance Realty of Reading. Thanks for listening, rating, reviewing, and subscribing. Let Hashtag Paul Ponders begin. Greetings, everyone. Hope everyone is doing well. I'm very pleased to introduce for this episode a longtime family friend of Paul Ponders and someone who I have known for many, many years, and her name is Miss Kate O'Donnell. Kate, welcome.
Thank you, Paul. I'm so excited to be here with you.
It's really great to have you on, Kate, and I've known you for a long time, and if the O'Donnell name sounds familiar, it's because your dad and mom, Joe and Kathy O'Donnell, just incredible benefactors and all, and your dad passed away in January of 2024, and he's a great guy, and I had a nice tribute podcast for him. I think it was episode number 28. And your dad was just a great gentleman, a true benefactor. I met him through Malden Catholic, and I also had the benefit of working with him through Boston Concessions Group and all. And your dad was just an incredible gentleman and great person. And your mom, of course, just a wonderful person and all. And we're here to talk about the Joey Fund. And if you want to just let our listeners in Paul Ponders land know about the Joey Fund and how it came to be, and we'll talk about the film premiere.
Thank you, Paul. First of all, I just want to thank you for having me on. As you mentioned, we've been family friends forever. My dad loved you. We all love you, but he especially loved you.
Thank you.
I just listened to the podcast that you did about him, and it was just very touching. So thank you again for that. And all you
You're
do
welcome.
for us. So my parents started the Joey Fund. It's named after my brother, Joey, who died of cystic fibrosis when he was 12 years old, which was in 1986. I was born 3 months later, and my parents decided that instead of turning away from this disease that took away their son, that they instead wanted to change the future for other people who were in this exact same circumstance. And, there was no money, there was no cure, there was no treatment. No one knew what they were doing with cystic fibrosis. It was a always fatal genetic disease, primarily affecting children. You're born with it. And what they ended up doing over the next, 40 years is creating the Joey Fund and using it as a vehicle to fundraise. At this point, they started doing the hot dog safari, film premiere, a bunch of other events to raise money, to raise awareness, to bring the community together. And what they ended up doing was raising so much money and directing it towards what they called venture philanthropy. So they gave the money to Vertex Pharmaceuticals. They made a huge gamble. If this hadn't worked, they were screwed. They had no more money. It was gone. And they made a huge gamble and took a huge risk, and it paid off. And as of today, we have 5 drugs that are produced by Vertex. They are genetic modifiers, and they basically fix the disease at a genetic level. It's not a cure, but 90% of people with cystic fibrosis now have a treatment, and some of them can take it when they're 3 months old, which means they never develop any kind of symptoms of cystic fibrosis. It's no longer a childhood disease. Over 50% of the people who have it are adults, which is astounding. I mean, none of us could have ever imagined that happening. So it's come a long way.
It really, really has, and kudos to your dad and the fine people over at CF, headquartered in Natick, and Pam and Karen Kelly, Tracy, the whole team over there, just do an incredible, incredible job, and just orchestrating so many wonderful, great events, and just raising money for a great cause.
Absolutely. The team is incredible everywhere.
Indeed, indeed. Well, I just want to pull a quote, and we're going to focus in on the Joey O'Donnell film premiere. But in the marketing of the event, which was held a couple of weeks ago, um, there was a quote in the invitation, and I'm going to let our listeners just hear this quote. And it's a quote from your dad, and it's something that he really just used to. I remember at so many film premieres, he would always say this: "None of us live forever, and none of us live to be 150 years old. So it's kind of short. It's kind of a short run. And along the road, you learn that it's real important to give back. We need to continue the battle. We will succeed. We are going to succeed, and we will all live to witness the end of this rotten disease. And then we'll celebrate again, one last time, but we'll always be friends forever." And your dad had said that, and so true. And you've come so far through the years with the fundraising, and this past film premiere you had worked out really well.
Yes, absolutely. And we were so happy to see you there too. It's
Thank you.
we've been doing this was the 41st year of the film premiere. Um, they started them when Joey was still alive and with all of his buddies. And the first one was in a shopping mall. I think it was in like the Bloomingdale's furniture
Chestnut Hill.
section.
Right,
Yes, at
right,
the Chestnut Hill
exactly,
Mall.
right, exactly.
Yeah. And my friends and I would run around, and Casey and I would hide in the stacks of furniture and rugs and everything. So it's very different than it used to be. Now we get about 1,000 people a year. We raise in between 800 to $1 million every event at this point. We have 20 different restaurants from all over Boston show up for us.
It really is amazing, and you just walk around and you just see so many great restaurants exhibiting their wares, if you will. And it's like old home weekend. Yeah, it's really one of those things where our dear friend Mike Sharon and I, Jackie, my wife Jackie and I, and we just see so many familiar faces and so many great supporters for the great cause, and
Hmm.
just tremendous and all. And by the way, my daughters said to say hello. They remember you and Casey, especially at the hot dog safaris over at
Oh
Suffolk Downs. You remember those? Remember those
Oh god,
days?
yeah. Yeah. Do you remember that year that we had uh the Heinz promotion going on? And so they did like all the colored ketchup. So
Yep.
everyone was running around with like purple and green ketchup on their hot. It was so gross. It was
Yeah. It,
amazing.
it was an incredible kaleidoscope of different colors and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my daughters always got a kick out of that, and they really learn how to volunteer based on all the great outpouring of support. The volunteers, the Malden Catholic students, would in fact be there, for Christian service and community service, and just volunteering and just doing an incredible job. And my daughters were young at the time; they always looked at you and Casey as the older sisters. You're
That's so
working the line
sweet.
with the Pepsis and getting all those condiments with the incredible amount of hot dogs, and it was a real wiener of an event, I guess, if you want to say that, right?
It was
It
it was
really,
uh it was a real start, and that Joe and Eddie started that together. I'm still very, very close with the Andelmans, all the boys. Um, it's the way that this thing has morphed, and I'm really happy that you brought up that quote too of my dad's that we put. I just recently put that on the website, and we use it in a video that I'm sure you saw at last year's film premiere. And I think it's just a really powerful way of remembering how he thought about giving back. The way that Joe O'Donnell became Joe O'Donnell was through the generosity of other people. He very much told us with, you know, with a great privilege comes amazing uh, responsibility, and you really have to pay it forward. And people helped him get to where he was. People helped him get into Harvard. They helped him with baseball. They helped him with his family, his schooling, with everything. And his mentors really made him who he was. And that's what he saw this as, was his life's journey to make life better for other people.
right, exactly, without a doubt. And I always remember your dad saying, CF is can find cure, right?
Yep. Yep.
And we will, and with the breakthroughs, with the I believe the five various Vertex findings. It's
Hmm.
really just it's been absolutely incredible, and yeah, it keeps on moving forward, right?
Absolutely. I just got back from a cystic fibrosis conference in Seattle. And, I go to a lot of the volunteer conferences, but this one was the North American Cystic Fibrosis Conference. And there must have been 4 to 5,000 people. Only about 200 of us were volunteers. The rest were healthcare workers, scientists, doctors, researchers, and anyone who touched CF in any from around the world. And it was incredible really seeing not just the fundraisers and the volunteers, but seeing people who are studying this one specific, nanoparticle that will eventually make its way into whatever we end up doing to cure it was really, really unbelievable. And seeing those two groups come together is incredibly powerful.
Absolutely, without a doubt. And what your dad had done, I believe, with the venture of philanthropy was just incredible, and it really upped the ante, if you will, in
Hmm.
the world of fundraising and speculation. And it's just absolutely incredible. It paid dividends, saved lives,
Yes. Yeah,
extended lives.
absolutely. It's the model of venture philanthropy is now kind of the blueprint of a lot of genetic diseases and how they are, ALS uses it, um, all kinds of genetic diseases and foundations are using this model now. The story of the Cystic Fibrosis Foundation and what happened in this space is a medical miracle.
Without a doubt. And also as a side note and all, and this is something where there have been so many breakthroughs with CF and it being taken care of. I believe that the Make a Wish Foundation actually took it off its list
They
of
did.
granting wishes.
They did, they did. It's kinda like a case by case basis now. It really depends on the child with it. But yeah, it is no longer an automatic entry. It
Hmm.
just having CF does not enter you into Make-A-Wish Foundation, because a lot of people are now living incredibly long, healthy lives. We just had a baby boom, a CF baby boom. I think over the last 3 years, we've had something like 1,200 kids born to people with CF who never would have been able to think about being parents previously. Um, it's it's crazy.
Wow. It's really it's a compliment, and it's a true tribute, if you will, to your dad and your
Mhm.
family and the people at CF, just doing a great job making it happen.
Absolutely. Yeah. We're very close. You know, and very often I always do want to I always have to put in we've come so, so close, and we are so close to a cure, but we do not have a cure yet. And I think it's really easy for us sometimes to get ahead of ourselves and say, we're done. We made it far enough. We're close enough. 90%. We did it. But we still have another 10% of people who have cystic fibrosis that is they're not able to take the drugs. They get really bad side effects that are worse than the disease itself. And that's going to take a lot more fundraising. So we're not even close to being done in a good way.
Right.
We're
Exactly.
excited about the future, and we will make it. We will find a cure.
Exactly. And, I could actually envision your dad with this yellow pad of paper, with his pen right now.
And my
And
mini
he's
one.
say, right. Oh, okay. There we go. There we go. And I could actually see him right now with the pen saying, "We will succeed. We are going to succeed. We will all live to witness the end of this rotten disease." And
Hmm.
I see him saying that and putting an exclamation point, a point right there. And, the job is never done. And with an event like the film premiere, where, $1 million was raised, and through the years, millions upon millions of dollars have been raised because of this event. Now, what number event was it on the film premiere? What number was it?
This was the 41st.
Wow.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I know.
Unbelievable. It's just crazy. Yeah, it was a fun evening and all. And let me see, Paul Del Grassi, right?
Del Rossi, yeah. My
Del
Uncle Del.
Rossi, Uncle Del. That's right,
Yep.
absolutely. And Mary Lou, the original committee members, and the rest of the committee, Debbie. It was just,
Yep.
yeah, really, just super and all. Plus, I think he also had a couple of Oscar winners through the years, right?
We did. We did. We had La La Land,
Yep.
The Green Book,
Yep.
and The King's Speech were all Oscar winners. Um, I think Best Picture was The King's Speech, and then everything
Mhm.
else. I know there was like that mess up with La La Land where they announced that it was, and then they had to take it back, which
Right,
was
right.
uncomfortable. But uh, you know, we've had some unbelievable movies in the past. City Slickers. We had all the James Bonds.
Mhm.
Um, Harry Potter. I think we had
Right.
2 or 3 of the Harry Potters.
Yep.
And during COVID, we struggled a little bit. We, sent people movie passes in the mail, and we did an online streaming service um, with Angels in the Outfield. Um, so now we're back to actually in the theater, which is fantastic.
Now, do you and Casey sit down and just, do some research and say, "Okay, this is the theme we're going to, do this year?" How do you decide?
That's a good question. Honestly, a lot of that comes down to um, what's available for what we can get. um, it's the space is incredible. We're at, as you know, we're at the Riviera Hotel, and they do such a good job with that space. You can really build it into whatever you want, and whatever we start out with the movie, whatever we can get that year. We get basically a list of movies that are coming out around that time. A lot of studios won't let you touch them. Everybody's like, "Is it Wicked? Are you guys nothing Wicked?" And we can't touch Wicked, but we look at what the movie is, and if we're able to get like a James Bond, then you remember that year with Skyfall, we had an Aston Martin, we had the 007 ice sculpture, we themed a bunch of things. So it really depends on how early we can get the film, and then from there we work and try to zhuzh up the decor to match with that. But last year, we had the boxing movie, and we brought in a bunch of my dad and my grandpa's old boxing gear
I
and had
remember
that
that.
framed.
I remember
So
that.
that was very cool. That we were able to actually like really theme out. So
Right. Without a doubt and all. But yeah, it's just an incredible event with the hot dog safaris. I'd love to see the hot dog safaris come back.
me
It would
too.
be kind of cool. We'll have to work on the ketchup, all those different colored ketchups and all, and mix all that. Will be our mission, I guess. We'll have to
Good. I'll
we'll
have
have
to
to
tell the
get the girls.
Andelmans.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely. Without a doubt, we'll have to do that. Plus, also too, the golf tournaments and the hikes. There are just so many events. So, how do our listeners in Paul Ponders land contact you at the Joey Fund? If you want to give out your email address, it'd be great.
Yeah. You can contact me anytime at thejoeyfundcf@gmail.com. The website, thejoeyfund.org. We're super active on Instagram, which is the Joey Fund. Um, yeah, and you could buy tickets to all events and upcoming film premieres in the years that follow on the website. I'm pretty social or active on the socials. And as you know, we come out with a new hat every year.
Yes, indeed.
So this one's from, I know this is not video, we're on the radio, but we had the white one 2 years ago. This year is a bone on bone, which I'm sure you saw a few weeks
Yes,
ago. And then we have
indeed.
some pretty exciting colors coming down the pipeline this year. 47's doing a really cool collaboration with us this year. So
That's awesome.
stay
That's
tuned.
awesome. And also too, I believe you have that Instagram, that posting. Just post your picture wearing the hat somewhere, and you'll put it on the website, right?
Yes, I'll put it on the website, on the Instagram, tag people in it, just people send them from, I have pictures of hats from the Everest Base Camp, skydiving in Dubai, on camels in Egypt. I have them everywhere. It's kind of like a flat Stanley type deal, and people send them in from everywhere.
Without a doubt. And cousin Alex is walking. He's out there hiking and walking the Appalachian Trail at different times. So he's taking
Yep.
his pictures and submitting those online as well.
Yeah, he sent me a bunch of pictures. He actually sent me a few this morning. So
I
he's
love
my
it.
my most active hat wearer.
Absolutely, without a doubt, without a doubt. Well, Kate, again, I want to thank you for being on Paul Ponders, and looking forward to collaborating with you on um, future Joey Fun events, CF events, and all. And just keep up the great work with all the great things you're doing. How does
Thank you,
that sound?
Paul. That sounds perfect. It's been
Awesome,
great
and
hanging out with you.
same here, Kate. Thank you, and say hi to your mom and Casey for me, okay? And
I will
Ryan.
say hi to everybody for me, and
Uh,
thank you again for everything you do.
You're welcome. Hashtag indeed. I trust that you have enjoyed hashtag Paul Ponders. Again, my name is Paul Solano of PS&All Marketing Group, and I may be reached via email at paul@paulponders.com to do some more pondering. Many thanks to my longtime collaborative friend and associate, Alonzo Amos of Pod Pro Entertainment, in bringing you our fun, exciting, and informative podcasts. You rock, Techie Alonzo. With PS&All Marketing Group, I created a side gig to connect you and get things done. Please do not hesitate to reach out to me at paul@paulponders.com with any questions. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Paul Ponders. Follow us on Twitter at Paul Ponders Pod. Follow us on Instagram at Paul Ponders Podcast. Thank you again for listening to hashtag Paul Ponders, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, our website, paulponders.com, or wherever you stream your podcasts. Subscribe, stream, rate, and review our shows. Your ratings and reviews help our show reach new audiences. Produced by Pod Pro Entertainment, hashtag Paul Ponders lives within a network of podcasts located at podproentertainment.com. Hashtag the new radio. Until we meet again, my friend, stay well. Hashtag indeed.